How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we're back with another FPL preview live stream over on Twitch. It's been a while. The last one I did, I think, was Game Week 18, which would have been a long time ago. Basically, let me actually double check when it actually was, because it feels like so long ago. And ever since I stopped doing streams because of the Christmas break and that sort of stuff, I said I was going to, and things got a bit hectic. So, yeah. And my team's been doing worse ever since, unfortunately. Game week 19 was... no, I didn't do game week... I did a game week 19 preview, I think. I did the game week 19... Did I do Boxing Day? No, I didn't do that one. I was supposed to be on the Fantasy Football Scout one for that, but I actually ended up being on the New Year's one, which was quite nice, for those that didn't know that. But yeah, basically middle of December. So now it's almost middle of January. So we've had about a month off, but we're back. We're back finally, and we're gonna get back into regular scheduled programming, as it were. So we're gonna do the usual stuff that we do in the preview, as we normally do: predictions, differentials, all that sort of stuff. And we'll also, before we do all of that, we'll take a look at how the team's been doing since I've been away. And we were really high up, and now we've slipped right the way back down, so which is unfortunate. So hopefully we can try to see if we can fix those things. We'll take any questions in the chat as per normal, and we'll kind of discuss things going forward. And just because over the holidays you kind of want to be with the family and that sort of stuff, the little time you get to see them, you know, having to social distance, do all that kind of stuff as well is kind of annoying. And also postponements is a real pain. I've been on the the luckier side of things up until the last few weeks, and now I've been burnt with a lot of the postponements and the players. Just one slight choice here and there, so I'm not getting the rough of the green as it were now. So we gotta rectify that. Hey, Mana, how's it going? Was dead until the last West Ham game. I'm happy for the first time in many game weeks. Probably a lot of players are like that too, to be fair. Me, not so much. I have Jared Bone in my team with 28 points. But even if I captained him, it still wouldn't have stopped me from getting a red arrow, and you would see in just a second as to why. So, yeah. We'll go through that as well. But without further ado, let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout. So it feels like it's been a while since I've talked about Fantasy Football Scout, but yeah, Fantasy Football Scout's fantastic. I was actually over on their deadline stream for the New Year's Day deadline, which was fantastic. I was extremely nervous, but my voice didn't show it, which was for the most part, I think. Which was quite fun. So thank you to Fantasy Football Scout for allowing me to do that, and hopefully I can do one of those in the future as well. And I posted on my Twitter to let you guys know that I was going to be over there as well. But they have a fantastic members area, and I've been using it probably not as much over the holidays, hence why my rank is dipped down to where I don't want it to be. I want it to go back up to where we were a few game weeks ago. So, and it's always the Christmas period that can define you in some seasons. So we'll have to see kind of how things play out now that we've dipped back down a little bit into the 6,000. Obviously not at 10k yet, which you'll see in a second, but still we wanted to stay in the top 1k because it looked really nice having 3 digits, which was a very fun and uncharted waters. So had a bit of a rough patch, so we'll get that sorted. But Fantasy Football Scout will get you sorted in terms of giving you all the stats powered by Opta data and giving you all the different things that you will need to help elevate your FPL game. So make sure to check that out. Links in the description and in the about section. So without further ado, let's check out the team. So, this is the team this week, but we're going to do a little bit of a review. So, I'm going to go back to, I want to say game week, I'm going to go back to game week 17, because that was a really good week, and I think that was probably around the last time that I did, decently enough. This was the time where we brought in, who was it? Lukaku and Watkins, right? We used 2 free transfers to bring in Lukaku and Watkins, and that was for, actually it's probably better to see just the game week history here, or maybe the transfer history. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so the transfer history, Ronaldo was like, they had, Man United had a blank. So we got rid of Ronaldo for Watkins, who did well for us. He got a goal and assist. We took off Saint-Maximin, who I think ended up scoring or getting something, and Lukaku didn't, which wasn't ideal. And then we got rid of Lukaku and Brownhill for Gelhardt and Foden. I made a slight miscalculation there because I couldn't play both Gelhardt and Rafinha, although I think Rafinha came off my bench in that game week. Let's see if I can get the page to load. There we go. Yeah, so I got lucky because Foden didn't play. So we brought we got Rafinha off the bench for 7 points, which was quite nice. Our back line did amazingly well. So that game week wasn't was not too bad. In terms of rank gain from 17 to 18, those were actually my last 2 green arrows. We went up to 259th in the world, which was crazy town. And at the time, going into Game Week 19, that's when I was supposed to be going on the deadline show, but it was cancelled. That was the one that was supposed to be on Boxing Day. Then in Game Week 19, I was going to be on a free hit as well, which made it even more nerve-wracking. First show on a free hit, and then the website decided 5 minutes before it wasn't going to work. So you will see my team in just a second for Game Week 19. Here we go. So we played the free hit. So we got Ramsdale in goal. Fine. Reece James looked to be okay. Cancelo, 4 points. Reguilon, okay. Delo, not ideal. Martinelli, Bowen, Bernardo, Foden, all reasonably good picks. Just didn't get the points. Like everyone but these two, and City got the points. Son did okay. Ronaldo captain, got me not much. This was the problem. I couldn't get Harry Kane into my lineup at the time. I was going to put him in over Delo, which would have netted me an extra 4 points, but I think I would have still been on a red arrow regardless. But those who had Mahrez, I think it was like Mahrez, De Bruyne, I think Sterling got in on the action as well. That was the game week where like all the differential picks around did well in the Man City camp at least. Let me actually check. Yeah, it was this game, the 6-3. Yeah, Sterling with 2, Gundogan, Laporte got a goal and an assist. It was just crazy town for that gaming. So that was a bit of a red arrow on a free hit, not too bad. And the reason I think I free hit was because I had set up to free hit that game week anyway. I think Liverpool got cancelled. It was like Liverpool was supposed to play Leeds, and that got cancelled. That meant 5 of my players were out immediately, basically. I don't think, if I remember correctly, Arsenal played that week either. No, Arsenal did play that week. Yeah, I think it was just the Leeds, Liverpool. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Who else would it have been? Because Chelsea played. Not too sure, but basically I had 5 players out, pretty much. Then, so that wasn't great. Game week 20. This was also not a great week, only 36 points. Again, Salah captain on another day, he scores the penalty, and he goes on to get some solid points. Jota didn't get anything, neither did Trent. Just Foden saved me by the bare scruff of the neck, basically. Cancelo and Diaz double clean sheet. Guaita clean sheet. I only had like 8 or 9 players in this anyway. And I was looking to hold 2 frees so I can go into game week 21 with 2 frees ahead of the double. And we only had a smaller red arrow because of those 2 guys. So we lost 800 places. Not the greatest, but also not terrible either. This game week, however, game week 21, we got smacked this week. We got smacked. Bowen captain. I didn't go for Bowen captain. Jones in the chat. Bowen captain was massive for me. Bowen captain wouldn't have made much of a difference for me because I took a -8 as well. he would have made a difference. I wouldn't have gone down 4,000, 5,000 places or whatever it is I'm going to be. I think my over rank's going to be around like 6,400 from around 1,600, which is a like 300% drop. So it wouldn't have been as bad. Maybe it would have been half that. I would have been around like 4K, 3K, something like that, which wouldn't have been as bad. But it was the other problems that we had. So we took a -8. We had 2 frees. We took out our 2 dud strikers. So that was Gelhardt and Locadia. We brought in Antonio and we captained him, which, you know, was decent. 18 points with the armband on him. Calvert-Lewin, though, no points. No points at all. Donut, nothing. Nada. 0. Zilch. Yeah. Not ideal. So yeah, we were not impressed. Not impressed at all. And because he missed a penalty, which was again another penalty in a row. So 2 game weeks back to back with missed penalties, which is not great. Hey CFF, Captain Bowen, Calvert-Lewin next game week. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin could come good next game week. Also, thank you for the follow as well. Also, Ali Keshi, this was 13 days ago. Thank you for the follow as well. What's my upcoming plan? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, that was bad. Watkins' game, I believe, got postponed, or he didn't play or something. Something like that. I can't remember what it was. But Watkins, 0. Johnson played the first game, got booked, subbed at halftime for 0, didn't play the second game. I thought Soufal was going to be out because he tested positive, but apparently he was back fit and raring to go. I know they have different protocols now, where as long as you get 2 negative tests in a row or something like that, the one that you have to send to the lab to check, then you're fine. So maybe that's the reason he was back. But we will get Diaz off the bench. Even Alonso's mocking me now with the 6 points. I could have really used those. But Diaz will come in for Watkins to get us an extra 2 points. So I think we'd end up with 54 points with the -8, which is yeah, not not the greatest, but we live and learn. Yeah, if I'd have Captain Bone, it would have been slightly better, but I still would have been down. When you're high up, you have to do even better than before. So yeah, not great. Just took free hit. I think King and Dennis on the free hit. Yep, that could be good. Their fixtures are quite good. They are quite good indeed. So yeah, that brings me to this game week. Game week 22. Those were the scores there. Let's do the predictions. So I gotta find. I did predictions for. There's a Fantasy Football Scout affiliated site that we post predictions on. Let me see if I can find mine. Just looking for mine. Would be in my notifications somewhere probably. Here we go. So this is a site that posts my predictions every week, but I'll go through with you for them as well. So I have them off to the side so we can take a look at them as well. So Crystal Palace versus Brighton. I went with a 1-1. I think that both teams are good enough to score. I think both defenses probably will concede 1 goal, but I think it'll probably be quite even. And usually when it's even, I go with a 1-1 for teams that don't score too much. Although if I had to predict somebody to win, I would say I'd favor Palace, even though they are away from home. City Chelsea again 1-1. I think they're just going to be somewhat evenly matched. I think that when Thomas Tuchel goes up against Pep Guardiola, he tends to get the better of him for the most part. I believe the last time that Tuchel played Man City won, if I remember correctly. But 1-1 is what I went for. That as well. Got a scratch on my arm there. Anyway. Can you edit the free hit after you select it all the way up until the deadline? Yeah. So the free hit, think of the free hit as like, it works the same thing as a wild card. So once the deadline hits, though, that's it. So you can make as many transfers as you want, and then it reverts back to your normal team once the site refreshes. So yeah, that's how it works. Got myself a new water bottle as well. This is a yellowy green, so it looks weird on the green screen. But yeah, you can make infinite transfers. You can take a billion hits if you wanted to, as long as you activate the free hit before the deadline. And the way you activate it is by doing a transfer that would cause you to take a hit, and then select free hit. But once you use the free hit, once you activate it, you cannot undo it. You can't undo it. Let's see. Burnley versus Leicester. I've gone with a 2-1 win in favor of Leicester. I think that Chris Wood, it looks like he's going to be moving to Newcastle. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed as of yet. But losing him could be a big blow for them in their fight to stay out of the relegation zone. And I think Leicester, they don't have any strikers, but I think they're good enough to beat Burnley, which is why I can still see it being a bit close, which is why I'm going with the 2-1. Watford and Newcastle. I'm going to go with the high-scoring one here. Desmond, as it were, a 2-2. I think Watford is good enough to score a couple versus Newcastle, and vice versa, St. Maximin or not. Chris Wood coming in could help Newcastle have a target man, something that they haven't really had, and could definitely use in order to get a bit of hold-up play going on there. And I think with the likes of St. Maximin and Callum Wilson, maybe later on in the season when they're back fit, running off of... I'm not sure if St. Maximin is fit again. I'm not sure if he even played this week on. But those two running off of Chris Wood could be quite good for them longer term. Norwich versus Everton. I've gone with a 2-0 for this one. I just think that Everton, now with Calvert-Lewin back, should be beating teams like Norwich. Norwich today versus West Ham were comfortable on the ball, got into the final third, and just have no quality. So I expect them to lose again. They're going to be one of the teams to get relegated almost certainly. Wolves versus Southampton. I went with a 1-0 Wolves win. I think Wolves have been keeping a much better defensive record than most, you would think, basically, or would meet the eye. And I think that Wolves are a team that are going to potentially be a tough team to just beat at their ground in any given day. I mean, United the other day lost to them, even at home. Wolves are going to be tough. They don't concede a boatload of goals, maybe like 2 at very most, but most times it's only just the 1. So if you keep a clean sheet versus Wolves, then you have a good chance to win, which is the part that Wolves have been struggling with, is keeping the clean sheets or getting a goal for themselves. They can keep clean sheets just fine. It's getting a goal for themselves and breaking the clean sheet on the other side. Aston Villa versus Manchester United. I've gone with a 2-1 Man United win. I think they will still beat Aston Villa, be away from home. I think Rangnick will make some adjustments and it'll make them better. I think Aston Villa controlled the midfield for large portions of the game, the majority of the game, I would say. They just didn't take their chances. Now, whether they take their chances in front of a home crowd, possibly, which is why I've given them a goal. But I think United will probably just edge it. They'll have a slightly better team with Ronaldo probably to come back into the side, assuming he's fully fit, as well as Jadon Sancho. Liverpool I've gone with a 3-0 win. I think Liverpool are going to win this one quite comfortably. I thought Brentford were quite poor versus Southampton. I think, Ivan Toney just really hasn't lived up to the potential that we thought he could this FPL season. He's gotten a goal here and there, but nothing too crazy to brag home about, like how Bamford was last season. West Ham versus Leeds. I've gone with a 2-0. I think they're going to replicate the same scoreline that they did in the Cup. And I think that the likes of Bowen is going to continue to do well. He's not going anywhere from my team anytime soon, even when they do play Man United. And could be a captaincy shout for single game week players this week too. So. Then we have the North London Derby. Now, Spurs lost in the Cup in the semi-final in both legs versus Chelsea, so Chelsea would be making their way into the final for the Carabao Cup. So Spurs are out of that one. Without the likes of Heung-min Son, could put a damper on them. But I knew this going into the prediction, and I still think they will beat Arsenal. I'll give them the home field advantage, and I'll give them that Kane often does well in North London Derby. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Spurs. I think Arsenal are in a bit of a slump as well, and they also have a couple of players who are absent due to being at the African Cup of Nations. Burnley versus Watford. I've gone with a 1-1. I just think that when Burnley needs to get at least a point against a team that could potentially be a relegation rival, they do. So I'm going to go with a 1-1. Just a gut feeling on that one. Watford could blast them and Burnley could do the same. But I just feel that when both teams need a win and both teams know that they need a win, it usually ends up in just like a drab draw. Chelsea versus Brighton. I think this one's actually going to be quite close, but I think Chelsea just edged it, and I'm going to go with a 1-0 on that one. I don't have my notepad up on the screen, but I will put that up now. There we go. A little bit better on the visuals. Everyone will probably be wondering what I'm typing. But yeah, 1-0 for Chelsea over Brighton. I think that it should be quite comfortable for Chelsea for the most part. 1-0, 2-0, that's kind of their specialty in a sense. And I think that Brighton have struggled to score goals if they don't get something from Neo Maupay or Welbeck, who are either injured in Welbeck's case a lot of the time or inconsistent in Maupay's case. I think Chelsea should be able to hold out even with some injuries at the back. I think they're good enough to keep a clean sheet there. Leicester versus Spurs. Now, this is an interesting one. I actually went with a 2-1 in favor of Spurs because I just think that Leicester are so bad at the back. And I think that Leicester, with the injuries and the cases in the camp that they've had, they've just been struggling quite a bit. So I'm just going to go with Spurs on this one. I think they'll keep it solid and get something there. Greenwood or Bruno? I think you have to go with Bruno if money's no object, just because I think Bruno is going to play both games. That's just my opinion on that one. Yeah. Let's scroll down here. So, there we go. Get most of the fixtures up on the screen. And then lastly, I've gone with a 2-1 again in favor of Man United. I just don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet, but I think De Gea will probably have to make some saves and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I think that Man United should be winning this game. They need to get, I think, 12 wins out of their last 16 games to even have a chance at top 4. So, they got to start winning these games. So, and I think it starts with Villa and then it continues with Brentford. So, they got to start gaining some points on the teams in fourth, because West Ham, again, getting 3 points. They're in the top 4 as well. They leapfrogged Arsenal. So, yeah, United have to do the same. Are you looking at your team after the predictions? I most certainly am. So, yeah, here we have the differential picks first. So we're going to do that. I've gone with Man United and David De Gea. Even though I haven't predicted them, I think it's probably more like the most likely chance of a clean sheet. If you're going for a double game week player, I'm just going to go for double game week players, is Man United, even though I haven't predicted them to. That maybe that's just me being pessimistic as a United fan, haven't having seemingly concede in just every game. But Rangnick has shored United up defensively, so maybe they keep a clean sheet in one of them. Maybe I think it's most likely going to be in the Brentford game, if anything. And then David De Gea, 12.2%. I think that's probably the best option you have for goalkeeper in the double game week. In defense, I was trying to think of a defender potentially for the double game weeks. And the only one that I could probably come up with that's probably good value would probably be the likes of Tariq Lamptey. 2.5%. He has Crystal Palace at home, Chelsea at home in those two. So if you're on a free hit, definitely is looking good because he blanks in 24 due to Chelsea blanking. So I think Lamptey could be a good value pick if you're looking for a cheap defender, maybe a fourth defender. And he's looking quite good, back to his best. His minutes are being managed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but could also be it's a good thing potentially that he's being hooked around 60 to 70 minutes, which is quite nice. So if Brighton have got a clean sheet at that point and he gets taken off, that could benefit you. Because if Brighton do concede later on, then most likely he's going to be in the bonus almost certainly. So yeah, that could be quite good. You think TA and Jota have good value this week? I think it's going to be interesting to see what Liverpool look like without Salah and Mane. You would expect Firmino, Jota +1 up front, but we'll have to see what that kind of looks like. That would be the only worrying thing, would be without Mane, without Salah, where do the goals come from? Usually at Jota, so we'll see kind of how that plays out. Yeah, the Lamptey minutes can worry, but I think that Lamptey's minutes could benefit. If he gets past, he hasn't been taken off before 60 minutes, unless he would just come back where he got like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that. If he plays, he should be fine, and I think it's not as bad of a turnaround. So he plays Friday and then Tuesday. So what's that? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So yeah, he's got 3 days. 3 days. If he plays 60 and 60. You're looking good. But against Chelsea, he might go a bit more defensive and might not use Lamptey. So we'll have to see. But I think he could be in for a shot. He's definitely a differential pick in that sense. In midfield, I think Mason Mount could be quite good. He's fairly highly owned. James Maddison, 11.1%. All decent options here. But the one I'm going to go for, actually, is Lucas Moura, 5.3%. Someone who is going to be picking up more game time due to the fact that Son has been injured. But he seems to be the third most likely out of the front three. So you have Kane and Son, and then Moura seems to be next in line. He started again tonight. And I think he could be doing quite well for some quite cheap. 6.5 million, is definitely a differential. Fixtures aren't as good as you would like, Arsenal and Leicester, but I think that he could definitely shine. He does have those hot streaks of form. If you're on a free hit, probably a perfect punt in a cheaper midfield slot. So yeah, that would be the player that I would go for. And then lastly, I'm curious to see what his ownership is. 11.3%, so can't really go for Kane. But Kane is definitely differential-ish, especially if you're going to captain him. We have Dennis in there. He's 30-something% owned by the entire game at 37.8, crazy amount. We have Josh King, as was mentioned in the chat earlier, 7.6% owned. We have Ronaldo in the forward line, 31.3% owned. Could be quite good. Lucas more time, yeah, exactly. If he gets more time, then yeah, we'll be laughing. Let me actually just take a look at some of the forwards. Unfortunately, there's not enough forwards that actually look that appealing this week. But one that could be quite good is actually Romelu Lukaku at 9.9%. He plays Man City and Brighton. Played tonight as well. From what I saw, and looked like he was celebrating. And if it was a free hit player, then sure you could go for Lukaku. I think he could be quite good. Still a bit too high to be called a differential, I would say. Maybe we found our man. Maybe Roberto Firmino is the one to go for. coming back into the Liverpool side. 2.6% owned, could be a bargain, and still be able to maintain your triple Liverpool. Didn't play versus Chelsea. I assume he was being preserved for the most part. I don't think there's any injury to him, but that's what we will go with for our differential pick on that one, because I think that he could be quite good. So that's our clean sheet and differential picks. I'm actually gonna copy those now, and I'm gonna post those over on Twitter while we are here, just so I do not forget. Because sometimes I do forget. And differentials. Tweet that. And that. There we go. Lovely stuff. So I can close this out now. Don't need that. Right. So, can close that out now. Notepads off. There we go. Okay, so this is the team as it stands now. So currently we have Guaita in goal. We have the option of Guaita or Ramsdale this week. We have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's just returned to training. We thought he also tested positive as well, so maybe it's coming to fitness back for him. We have João Cancelo. We have Alonso, our only double game week player, which is a bit worrying. Ben Johnson, who didn't play tonight, which was unfortunate. Diego Jota, Rafinha, Bowen, Watkins, Calvert-Lewin with the armband currently, and Antonio with Smith Rowe, Diaz, and Salah, who's not going to play on our bench. So effectively, I have two players that are going to either not play or probably most likely going to be on the bench. If Johnson, it can be included in that as well. So I have a bit of an issue. I think we need to free up the Salah money and do something with it. Because I think that we could run into a situation where we could get left behind, which might not be ideal. Mano has De Gea, Trent, Cancelo, Sufal, Bowen, Jota, Lucas, Foden, Ronaldo captain, Antonio, and Watkins. Bench Foster, Gundogan, Duffy, and Livramento. Torn between a -4 or a free hit with one free transfer. I think a -4 is just fine. I think West Ham should be fine versus Leeds, to be honest. I'm really happy with the West Ham players because they're going to be lower owned this week for sure because of the fact that everyone could be free hitting this week for the double game week players. And to be honest, I don't think the double game week's actually that good. I think the only double game week that, like, on paper that has potential is United, but United are so bad at the moment in terms of like playing style. Like they're winning games barely, but the playing style is bad at the moment. So yeah, it's not great. Whether it's their run down thing because they're getting used to Ranieri's system or what, I don't know. But if I was you, Mono, I would probably do something along the lines of, because you have a double game week goalkeeper. Trent's not going to go anywhere. Sufal I like versus Leeds. Cancelo can easily do well versus Chelsea. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Bowen, Jota, Lucas, Foden. I think those are all potentially fine. Maybe you get rid of Gundogan and you put Foden on the bench and put someone in his stead. Ronaldo's fine, Antonio's fine, Watkins is fine. Maybe you do like a -4. You get rid of Watkins for like Dennis as an example, and then you go Gundogan to like a Mason Mount maybe. You'd have to get rid of him afterwards, but that could be something that you go for because he is a decent double game week midfielder. Something like that, I would say. Because obviously you don't want Watkins this week. It's a bit weird. Free would most likely be Kane and Bruno, and after that, maybe a Watford forward. Yeah, so you kind of have to think how many players you're going to add, like, you're going to actually realistically change out. So, out of those players, I wouldn't change out Ronaldo. I wouldn't change out De Gea. And then, you're thinking Jota and Trent, Bowen and Antonio. Those are players that you're gonna that could do well. They play Leeds and Brentford. They're very, very. They're playing against bad teams. So yeah, maybe Madison and Dennis for those two. Yeah, that's also an option as well. I would say wait just to make sure that Madison's fully fit. But also with the caveat that games in somewhat quick turnaround can cause issues for players like Madison who are somewhat injury prone. Let's see, what's the turnaround? So he plays on Saturday and Wednesday, so that should be fine. Should be fine. But I would not be surprised if Madison gets hooked 60, 70 minutes if they're up 2-3-0 on Burnley. Would not be surprised. And he might not start versus Spurs because he might go a bit more. Rodgers might go a bit more defensive and then bring him on later. And wait to see if Leicester play. Yeah. That could be another thing as well. That's another thing that's kind of just put me down a bit, to be honest. It's just the games are getting cancelled and stuff. It's just really annoying. Really, really annoying. And just frustrating. You want to see your players play. You want to see games happen. And Calvert-Lewin not getting a game and missing a penalty just gets 0 points. Johnson when it's bad, it's bad. That was probably one of the worst gamings I think I've ever had. Playing FPL period in terms of the swing. For some things not captaining in 1 week not captaining Bowen, Calvert-Lewin donut, Watkins donut, who could have had a good fixture. Johnson donut. It wasn't great. Benching headache got Alonso stuck on my bench with 6 points, and for a double game week too, which I attacked, and I attacked quite heavily and just didn't work out. So. But for me, I think it's probably... I think I got to keep it to at most a -4 this week. I don't want a free hit because I know the free hit's going to be super valuable in Game Week 30. I think if you have 2 free hits, free hitting this week is perfectly fine. But I think the free hit in Game Week 30 is going to be almost a certainty. Because trying to navigate Game Week 30... without the free hit could be absolutely brutal because of the FA Cup fixtures. So what usually happens is the teams that are typically good make it all the way to the latter stages of the FA Cup, which means that them and their opponents will blank in that game week and that game has to get moved elsewhere. What that usually means is there's a game week with maybe one good team and 3 or 4 or 5 bad teams. So there was one game week, it was Liverpool played it's a Bournemouth or something like that, and then the other game was a Newcastle Burnley or something it was something like that. It was 2 or 3 fixtures total. There was only one good team in the whole thing, and trying to put your team into that could be disastrous. I have 2 free hits. Oh, well, then you can free hit this week. If you have 2 free hits, I see no reason why, unless you have most of the double game week players that you would want anyway. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would go for that. For me, I just think it makes the most sense for me to get a double game week forward and a double game week midfielder. Getting rid of Salah, getting rid of Watkins. I've tried to do a couple interesting things in the last couple of weeks. Bringing in Gelhardt was one which kind of worked out a little bit. Captaining Antonio this week, bringing in Johnson rather than going for someone a bit more nailed like a Sufo, a Diop, or somebody like that. That hasn't paid off for me. So like the more textbook moves have worked out for me this season for the most part. I think that might be someplace where I have to go. So I think assuming Ronaldo's fit, I think Ronaldo comes in. He's going to be my captain. I would think. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't be. And then I got to bring in a midfielder that I'm going to play that isn't Smith Rowe, basically, because we don't want to be playing Johnson. So who that's going to be, I don't know. That's kind of the real question. Madison, if they have a double game, it looks fine. But again, not really too sure. We do have $8 million to spend. Not really sure who we can go for. Mason Mount is on the table. I had him earlier in the season. Does he get both games? Played tonight. Is a bit of a streaky player. Brighton. When was the last time they played Brighton? It was a 1-1, so it was a bit tough. That's one of the games. The last time they played City, they lost 1-0, and he didn't even play, so I think he was injured. Any opinions on Digne next week? Ooh, I could go Coutinho. But Coutinho plays United, so maybe Coutinho later. Digne, I'll wait and see if Digne is going to start game in, game out, because they might switch to a system where, Target plays left wing back and he plays left side center back in a back three. We don't know. Maybe Target just becomes the backup left back. Who knows? So I would say wait and see, but I don't even know what his price is. What is Digne's price? Oh, he's 5 million. Okay. Yeah, it looks quite good. Assuming Aston Villa are going to get a double. Mind you, I think they just have a really good fixture next week anyway. Which is why I kind of don't want to get rid of Watkins, but I might just have to. Another option would be just go like Salah straight to Fernandes. Go Salah to Fernandes and then just leave Watkins in there. Laporte better than Diaz. Yeah, he has been over the past couple gamings, but Diaz did well for me. Which game week was it? This one here. Game week 18 when he got himself a goal. That was quite good. That was our last green arrow, so yeah. Let me take a look at the double game. So who has a double? So Chelsea has a double. That's probably the best one. Watford has a double. That's kind of the problem. I think Dennis is going to burn me if I don't have him, to be honest. Whereas will Ronaldo burn me? Probably. May free hit to hold on to Watkins. Yeah, that could be a good strat too. That could be a good strat. Dennis and King. Yep. Both of them are going to be good picks. Brentford has a double, but it's not great. Spurs have a double. So maybe Kane. Kane's record versus Leicester and Arsenal is ridiculous as well. But again, it's that forward slot. Now I want Dennis, I want Ronaldo, I want Kane. Laporte can't wipe Diaz's shoes in FPL terms. Diaz has done well. Laporte does well in spurts, but Yeah, Laporte as a defender is nowhere near Diaz. FPL though, yeah. What else we got in here? Leicester have a double versus Burnley and Spurs. Maybe Madison if they play. That's about it, really. Burnley double game week. Don't really want to go there, to be honest. Brighton. Don't really want to go there either. Kane, Ronnie Dennis, or Ronnie Dennis and King. And overload mid. It's going to be tricky. I think it's just Kane's, excuse me. I think it's just Kane's overwhelming, like, stats versus the two teams he's playing. Could be quite good. Leicester also have games to make up. They play Brighton next, so it's not a terrible fixture there either. Then they have a kind of a bad run. But they still have Everton and Norwich to make up, so if that gets paired into 23, that could be quite nice. So we'll see. So yeah, maybe I'll do something like that, and I'll play 3-4-3, play Alonso, Trent, Cancelo, Rafinha, Madison, Jota, Bowen, Ronaldo, Calvert-Lewin, and Antonio. And then Captain Ronaldo, probably. Kane may be worth upon his loan. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's like I think I'm gonna have. Like I have to go. Like I could go Dennis there too. Like that is an option. Like if Son was available. Like Son's obviously not fit, right? I could go. I could have gone Salah to Son and just been Captain Son and just be done with it. And just hang on to Watkins and get his double next game week. But with this, I'm probably gonna have to go to a forward of some kind. And Ronaldo's fixture is still quite good. United still have their Brighton fixture to rearrange as well. Watkins fixtures afterwards are quite good. I just think Watkins is just like I don't think Watkins is actually that good. I just feel like Watkins is a player that often, like, I brought him in for that one game again. He got a goal and assist. Cool, fine. But I can see him like in the Man United game where he looks threatening, gets one chance, misses it, and then never sniffs the goal ever again. So, wait to see if Dennis is fit. Yeah, it's just who do I have as a midfield slot, really? That's the real issue. Mopé? Probably not. I don't think I'd go there. One of his games versus Chelsea. The other one's Palace. Not great. You're kind of hoping everything in the Crystal Palace game. Doesn't get anything there. You're probably not looking great. He can, yeah, he's very wasteful, yeah. He is very wasteful. So maybe I just maybe I do like Ronaldo or Kane, right? As an example. We go Ronaldo or Kane. And then if Madison has a double, or if he doesn't have a double, because Rafinha's most likely going to have a double next week. At least that's what it's looking like. I can get rid of one of my midfielders and go to Coutinho maybe. 7 million could be quite good. Lookman, yeah, Lookman could be good as well. Could be good. Could be playing up front too. I'm just waiting to see if Leicester are actually playing. Could also go Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura, 6.5 million. Could be good. But yeah, like Antonio and Calvert-Lewin, I don't really want to get rid of either of those two. I think Calvert-Lewin versus Norwich looks good. Antonio versus Leeds looks good. I just don't like. Dennis is probably going to ruin me, but Watford as a team are bad, so they could easily score no goals versus Burnley and Newcastle. Excuse me. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, not really too sure. Lookman and Lucas maybe higher up the pitch. Yeah, Lucas especially as well. Now that Son's not there, maybe he has more responsibility to get involved, as it were. Instead of like dropping off the line. Get in the box, get some tap-ins. Dennis maybe needed as a blocker. Yeah, that's true. But so is Ronaldo as well. And I can't take more than a -4. I can't. I can't take a -4 to get rid of Antonio or Calvert-Lewin. Unless their fixture's called off, cool, fine. By all means. But to get rid of them, when one plays Norwich, the other one plays Leeds, I can't justify taking -4. Even if it is Dennis. I just don't think like Dennis scores if Calvert-Lewin scores, gets 9 points, Dennis gets 9 points and 9 points, that's 18, and I take a -4 for Dennis. It's only, what's that? 5 points ahead. That's guaranteeing that Dennis also scores double the amount of, like, scores 2 goals. Because I can see Calvert-Lewin or Antonio scoring versus those two teams. Easily. I just think Norwich are just bad. And Leeds are just open all the time, so. Plus, West Ham's fixtures are still pretty good. Watford, Leicester, Newcastle afterwards. Still really good. Everton's fixtures afterwards. Villa, Newcastle, Leeds, Southampton. Look quite good as well. Do you think Ron will be a huge captain ownership? Yeah, probably. I think he'll probably be the highest. Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd probably say he's probably going to be around like 125 to 150% effective ownership. Then you'll probably have the likes of like Dennis, who's probably going to be close to 100%. Maybe Kane will probably have a decent bit on him. Son would have had some on him. Lukaku is an outside shout maybe as well. But I mean, it's got to be on a double gaming player. It's got to be on a double gaming player. The turnaround for United, I don't think is that bad either. Yeah, Saturday, Wednesday, that's just a Champions League fixture there. That's just a Champions League fixture. But again, it depends on Ronaldo's knock that he has. If it's just something that, you know, he can shrug off and he's fine. He looks to be good. I think whoever my forward is going to be, it's most likely going to be like it's going to be either Ronaldo or Kane. But like the players that I think that you should have this week 100%, that are double game week players. The only two that I can justify is if they're fit is probably Dennis and Ronaldo. Everyone else I can make a case for that they have one bad fixture, or maybe they're not necessarily going to play both games, or something else basically. Like there'd be some manager say, oh, well, Madison, you know, he plays what is it, Burnley and Spurs or something? Burnley and Spurs. Okay, cool. If he gets nothing versus Burnley, is he necessarily going to play versus Spurs when they want to sit back and let Spurs have the ball? Bowen could get a brace again against Leeds. You know? United need to free Donny. Club is a joke right now. Yeah, I just don't understand why he doesn't play more if he is valued, as it were. Take the season as an asterisk. Yeah, last season was an asterisk too, but it's about how you adjust. So we're gonna have to adjust. So yeah, I haven't liked taking hits this season, and they haven't paid off for me. But this would be the most sensible one for me is Madison and Ronaldo. Excuse me. If it looks like Leicester's not gonna play 2 games, then I'll go for somebody else, maybe a Mason Mount or something like that. Or maybe I go for a Bruno as a riskier pick, as it were. I think it's Dennis has Norwich afterwards too. That's kind of the hard thing to do. But Antonio's hard to get rid of, so it's tricky. It's very tricky, very, very tricky. I think Dennis is gonna come to haunt me. I think, but it doesn't matter which one. Like whether it be if Ronaldo's not fit. If Ronaldo's not fit, then we'll go Dennis, I guess, and we'll probably captain him. Maybe, I don't know. Can't believe I'm considering captaining a Watford player. But yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a weird one. So yeah, this team as it currently stands. Do I want to keep my captaincy on Calvert-Lewin? I think the player I would want to captain would probably be Jota, and probably vice captain on Bowen, probably. That's what I would do. So yeah, this team is currently stands. I think Guaita over Ramsdale makes sense. Trent, Cancelo, Alonso, Johnson. I think if Johnson does play, that'd be nice. It'd be better than Diaz versus Chelsea, I would think. Jota captain, even that single game week, not great, but we can always change that around. Rafinha, Bowen, Watkins, Calvert-Lewin, and Antonio. With how bad United are, who knows? Watkins might score. So we shall see. We shall see. Let's talk about Fantasy Football Scout one more time. So Fantasy Football Scout is fantastic. The members area is going to help elevate your FPL game. I haven't been using it as much with the postponements and that sort of stuff, because then it just takes your stats out the window. It just goes, well, the player just can't play because, yeah, they can't field a team or whatever. So yeah, when things are back to normal-ish, Fantasy Football Scout will definitely help elevate your FPL game and help me at the beginning of the season as well. So yeah, hopefully we can get back on track with that one. Make sure to check it out in the link down below in the About section, or if you're over on YouTube watching this VOD, it's down in the description below as well. But without further ado, let's move over to the big screen. So that is the Double Game Week 22 preview. If you haven't done so already, make sure to follow us over on Twitter, subscribe over on YouTube, follow us here on Twitch. We will be doing a stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a stream tomorrow or a video tomorrow. I haven't decided yet because the game week starts on Friday, the 14th. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a video or if I'm going to do a deadline stream. I'll keep you posted on that one, but it's going to be either or, I think. Whether it's either going to be a deadline stream, quote unquote, even though the deadline isn't tomorrow, or it's going to be a video probably about chip strategy of some kind. Maybe I'll do that, but we'll see. We'll see what I'm thinking. And then it's a big old double game week. Then we'll probably be back on the Monday. Probably back on the Monday with some type of video of some kind. Maybe if there's double game week announcements or something like that, then we'll check that out. Because again, it is a quick turnaround. Maybe we do the preview on Monday, and then we do the deadline, or we can do the preview on the Wednesday, deadline stream on the Thursday, like we did this week as well. And maybe we'll try to put some videos in between as well. But the schedule, it's gonna slowly come back in. We're gonna not be crazy with one video every week, but slowly going to integrate it back in. We're going to have a big blast over on Final Fantasy 14 and then their new expansion. So we're doing the raids and that sort of stuff as well. So, got to find time for things, but I'll make it work. But yeah, check us out. We'll be here either tomorrow with a video on YouTube or over on Twitch as well. And I'll post this VOD first tomorrow. I'll preview it as like at 8 a.m. or something my time, which will be a midday UK time. So for those that can check it out if you did miss it. So without further ado, hopefully you had a better game week 21 than I did, and hopefully I can have a better game week 22 than I did in 21. So thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.